Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is brought to you by none other than Executive Help Now, your premier partner to private equity funds and portfolio companies, delivering operational excellence through embedded virtual teams, cutting-edge technology, and deep industry expertise that scales with ambition. From streamlining operations and managing your back office to producing podcast shows and keeping everything organized, our team is here to help you thrive. If you're ready to make life just a little bit easier, hit us up at www.executivehelpnow.org. Y'all, today's guests, we've got two of them. Count them. 1, 2 guests for today. So super excited about that. Our first guest is Loiny Matos, and she is a Brazilian-born entrepreneur and the director and chief financial officer of M&M Stone Design, a multi-award-winning custom stone and renovation company in Georgia. She co-founded the Evo Legacy Foundation, where she helps develop emotionally intelligent, purpose-driven leaders. A devoted mother and communicator at heart, Loiny is also a contributing author to the upcoming devotional Women of Impact. And she's also currently writing for the Evo mission. Guided by faith and emotional intelligence, she is committed to sorry y'all, I lost my place. Oh my word. A devoted mother, we'll edit that out. A devoted mother and communicator at heart, Loiny is also a contributing author in the upcoming devotional Women of Impact and is currently writing for the Evo mission. Guided by faith and emotional intelligence, she is committed to building legacy in her family, business, and community. Also with us today is Glendon Assis, and Glendon is a high-performance life coach who helps individuals turn their skills and experiences into purposeful, profitable paths. Trained through Behavioral Coaching Institute, he is known for his practical mentoring programs that focus on identity, mindset, and personal transformation. Passionate about people's growth, Glendon guides clients toward greater clarity, confidence, and long-term success. Y'all, put your hands together for Loiny and Glendon.
Hello. Hello. How are you, Renee? How are you, Glendon?
Hello, Loiny.
I love your energy. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. You're awesome.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm so excited that you are here today. So excited, I couldn't even get all my words together. So forgive me for that. But this is a subject that I feel so passionately about. And I'm so excited that you guys are here to break it down and make it make sense because it is critical. It is absolutely critical for us as leaders, as founders, as employees, even in corporate America, we need to understand emotional intelligence at the very basic level. Even if we only put into practice one or two little things, it'll make a world of difference in how we operate and how we are perceived and how we receive others. So I'm super excited about this topic. I think it's an amazing way to close out the year because it gives us time to practice before the beginning of the new year, and we can start the new year right with a whole new mindset about how we communicate with others and how we receive communication from others. So, to get us started, Loini, why don't you get us started and tell us what emotional intelligence means to you personally? And then, Glendon, if you'll get ready to answer the same question, what does emotional intelligence mean to you personally?
We have to start with me. Okay, thank you, Renee. Thank you for this opportunity being here with you. You're amazing, and I love your work. All this knowledge that you've been bringing forward. So to answer your question, for me, emotional intelligence is you go deep inside with techniques and tools and learn. First of all, we need to learn about who we are, because if we have that understanding who we are, what kind of traits do we carry, and throughout our childhood, adolescence, and up until we got into the business world, with all that, what we have become. That way we are able to, whenever we're dealing with clients, when we're dealing with our collaborators or anyone out there, we're able to use the knowledge of emotional intelligence. It's literally you understand how you're feeling about where you are right now and what you want from this situation, and you take control of that, and then you deliver it to the other. Basically, for me, that's using emotional intelligence. It's you being aware of who you are and how you're feeling and how you can put that into practice into other people's lives.
Awesome. Thank you, Loini. That's perfect. And before we get too far in, Mia says, two guests, happy Friday, everyone. So let's say hey to Mia. Thank you for joining us today. Tell your friends to join us.
Mia.
And if we could silence all the phones, that would be fantastic. While we're doing that, we'll go ahead and have Glendon answer that question for us, Glendon.
All right, Renee, thanks for having us today. And I felt so special with that presentation. That like I'm right here and just like am I really all of that? Thank you for having me here. And let's say emotional intelligence to me, it's actually the ability to stay aware of everything that is going on internally, you know, and also honoring the people that are around. We live in a world that is so reactive. We just react to things, and then we try to control our emotions. And it's not about, recognizing this message. It's about to be aware that I'm not going to be okay all the time, but I need to know how to control what comes from within before I just, react to things. For me, it's the foundation of presence. It's the way I show up as a leader, it's the way I show up as a father, it's the way I show up as a friend without being just reactive. The ability to think before I react, that's emotional intelligence. And that will only comes when you're on the moments of pressure, when you're on those moments that you feel that you can't handle, and you have to think a little more before you react to things, and you have to think before you act. That's emotional intelligence to me.
Yes, absolutely. Think before you act. I remember making this comment so flippantly to my husband one time. I said, why do I have to think about everything I say? Why can't I just say everything that's on my mind and just kind of flip out what's in my head? And he looked at me like I had three heads. He was like, "Are you serious?" It's like, you can't say everything that goes into your head, and you need to think about what you say and how you say it. So this topic is near and dear to my own heart for my own personal growth and development. So thank you so much for that, and letting me know that I'm not alone. So this obviously is a thing for other people too, because
Exactly.
otherwise,
And we are the only species that are capable of thinking of what you're thinking, right? So that
yes.
makes us very special.
Absolutely. You got to think. So think about what you're thinking. I love that, Glendon. That is so good. And so, have either of you ever personally experienced someone apply these emotional intelligence techniques and see that it actually made a difference?
Absolutely. Every single day. Right now, as we're speaking, even though I don't enjoy that much seeing myself back into the screen, I am doing this because I know it's important. It's important for my business. It's important for my clients, for you as well, for Mr. Glendon. Thank you for joining us. But being present in the moment and know that even though there will be situations that you don't feel that comfortable, you have some techniques. So as of right now, I am breathing. I'm breathing and I'm being aware of my body and you being honest about how you're feeling, but also respecting the other person, allowing the other person know what's going on with you. I think that's part of the emotional intelligence as well. But on day to day with clientele, once you really learn about emotional intelligence and how you can evaluate your traits, for example, if you have a trait that's dominant, as most of the leaders have, or if you have a trait that you are influent, most of communicators, like my friend Renee speaks are, they are influential. Or someone like Miss Loiny, she's very analytical, so she likes process and she likes to have orders and organize things. I can't say that much about the green one. I'll let that one for you, Glendon. So once you're able to really know the traits of these what's the word? Help me, Glendon.
Personality.
Personality. Yes, thank you. You're able to communicate with the other people and you analyze how they're responding back to you and you kind of put yourself on their shoes and you're able to bring that information. You bring whatever you're trying to bring to that system into a language that they will understand. That's basically it.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that part. I love that part as well, Renee and Louise. When we can separate the person from the behavior, we are able to connect with that person on a better way. So we're not judging them before anything, because we are good on judging. We look at someone, we look at a person, we like in 3 seconds we judge everything. We judge the behavior, we judge the attitudes, we judge everything so quickly, and then we don't analyze that people have different behaviors, people have different ways of do things, different ways of saying things. When we are able to get into that, like, we'll have better relationship, will open a little room for vulnerability as well. So
yes.
we use that power of vulnerability to connect with person instead of just trying to show up as somebody that we are not, just trying
Right.
to show up as a representative of ourselves. So when we get into that, it's very easy to get along with each other's.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Vulnerability is so important. And Nia says, think before you act. Yes, a little pause goes a long way. So while we're thinking before we're acting, we're expressing vulnerability to do that. That takes some humility. That, first of all, takes some self-control. And it takes vulnerability to even want to express self-control or have self-control. So it all is so intertwined, and fits together so perfectly. I really appreciate you setting the foundation for us for how to at least start to begin to show some emotional intelligence in our own lives. So, as we're thinking about building with purpose for Loini, how has emotional intelligence shaped the way that you lead and build relationships at Eminem Stone Design?
For that, I have to step back when we started. And one of our biggest challenges has been hiring the right people to assist our clients. Because a business, it's not only my husband and myself. A business that started with us, and now we have about 30 collaborators with us. We had to learn how to deal with this team of people that they needed to be delegated. And there are so many personalities with them. So for me, knowing about and learning about emotional intelligence was important because I was able to understand other people's reactions. And instead of taking it personally, I would try to analyze their profile, analyze their personality, and really perhaps there was something going on into their lives in that period of time, or perhaps that's just part of their personality. Obviously, we cannot use that as an excuse for not acting out professionally and requesting the job description, what they were hired for. But being able to communicate with emotional intelligence with other people, and especially with your collaborators, means having a strong foundation, a stronger relationship, and you pass that out. You tell them, even though you're going through something that is not related to your business life, you are able to carry on your business life with finesse, basically.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That is so good. And especially in a business like yours, Luini, where you have customer service representatives that are engaging with your customers, who, the homes where you're putting in your products. You have account executives who are engaging with your vendors or suppliers, all of those things. And so when you are interacting with so many different people on so many different levels, and they're interacting and representing you to your clients and vendors, it's important. I love how you said that it is important that you um, put the other person first, basically, is what you're saying. Get out of yourself, and put yourself in the position of those other folks and try and understand where they're coming from so that you don't lose your control or lose your composure as you're engaging with them or seeking to engage with them on a very professional level, which is the expectation.
That's basically it. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. And so for Glendon, what is one aspect of emotional intelligence that you believe as a coach most people overlook?
Awesome. That's a great question, Renee. Most people, like, we see that most people think emotional intelligence is just about have empathy, or the person that stay calm, right? It's the bias that we always have. But
Mm,
there is a deeper layer almost no one's talk about. It's having the emotional clarity of your state. Emotional clarity means that when you able to name exactly how you feel or what you're feeling on your day by day, like not just like I'm overwhelmed,
mm,
but let's see, I'm disappointed because my expectations were ignored, or with something that I can name it exactly what is bringing me like to a stressful state as well, or I'm just anxious because I feel out of control. It's especially that when we have that precision matters a lot, because when your brain doesn't know what you're truly feeling, it can't choose right or wrong. Your brain is just gonna stop it. It's not gonna do anything to change that situation. So, or you either shut down, or you just, numb yourself and try to avoid that confusion. But when you have clarity, when you gain access to those decisions with that clarity, that makes your life much easier. And that's the power most people are just missing. No more information, but more precision of your feelings, emotions, and your emotional state, for example.
I love that. And how many of us, I know I can't be alone, have responded in a particular way to something and later been asked, why did you respond that way? And then the response from me is, I don't know. I just did. You know what I mean? It's like that. We have these ways of just sometimes responding without actually analyzing or getting that emotional clarity of why we're doing it, and assessing how we're truly feeling in that moment. And I think it's even too important to, like I've learned over the years, to get control of that immediate emotion and not be led by that, not let it hold you captive, or have control of you so that you respond in some wild, crazy way. But like Nia said, take the time to pause, like you said, get some
Exactly.
emotional clarity, figure out where all of this is coming from, and then respond like a normal person and not some lunatic.
We're all normal here. We're all human beings that are constantly learning and transforming ourselves and readapting. This is us. This is human beings. 10 years ago, we wouldn't be able to know emotional intelligence as we know today. Can you imagine 100 years ago? So we're all transforming here. And one thing that in emotional intelligence we use a lot, Glendon can help me with that, it's the powerful questions. Instead of asking why you're treating me like this, why you're asking me this, you say, what made you feel this way? What are the feelings that put you into this position? You can fill
Right.
it in right there, Mr. Coach.
Exactly. Yes, it's just like we gotta dig a little deeper. Like all of us have some emotional home that we always go to, and we get so used to it that sometimes we might take for granted. We just go to the emotional home, but sometimes that can be a negative or a positive emotional home. And there is a lot of people that get used to be on that negative path, on that negative behavior, that they just think, no, that I'm just like that. I'm not going to change it. That's the way I am. And they don't even ask questions. Why am I doing that? Why am I repeating some patterns that I don't want to repeat? Why am just like staying like this for 5, 10 years or a lifetime, for example, and I don't even give a chance to change. I don't look for some more knowledge about it. So that's what we have to avoid it.
Right.
But we're
Absolutely.
only but we're only able to avoid. We're very passionate about this this content here. Um, the way we learn how to do that, it's actually allowing yourself to go back to those stages that made you feel these type of emotions that trigger you. So with a coach, with experience and knowledgeable coach, they will take you there, and they will make you visit that way, and will give you tools on how not to react on specific situations that way. Instead of being reactive, you will take control of the situation, and it's way different than manipulating, because a lot of people put emotional intelligence as being manipulative, and that's not it. It's you taking control of how you're feeling and responding it well to situations with
Right.
respect.
I love that. So what you're saying is, or what I'm hearing is, just because I grew up a certain way, doing a certain thing and responding in a certain way to different things. So maybe, for instance, I know somebody, I won't call any names, who would always respond to someone's suggestion to do something differently with, well, how come I can't do it this way? I've always done it this way. Why can't I just do it my way? Or there's always like you said, Glendon, going to this negative place, or this is the way I've always been, and this is the way I'm always going to be. So I can't change because I've always been this way. What you're saying is you can change. You don't have to stay this way. There's hope. There's hope for you.
Exactly. There's always hope.
Awesome. And Ahmed also joined us today. He said, we always thought that EI was something you were born with, but this conversation has me rethinking that. Yes, Arvid, thank you so much for joining in the conversation. It actually is. I mean, we may be born with a certain level of it, but this mastery that you're talking about, Loiny and Glendon, of making it transformative for our lives, not just for us personally, but for the impact that we have on others. Ooh, that's a whole nother level of the game.
Exactly.
I heard something this week that touched me differently. She said, a friend of mine said, you learn everything you are today, you learned. You are incapable to learn English or Hebrew or Arabic, whatever language, or accounting if you were not taught. You learn how to speak English if you were born in America and you had other people around you speaking that language. And the same thing goes to your emotions. You learn how to be mad. You learn how to be reactive. You learn how to be present in the moment, or you learn how to avoid being to that moment because of situations around your life that has put into those moments.
That when you were talking about that, Loini, that is so good, because I remember firsthand being in a office. I was getting some traveler's checks. This was back in the day of traveler's checks, y'all. I went to get some traveler's checks, and the lady in front of me was with her daughter. And she was being so nasty to the person trying to help her, with her situation in these traveler's checks. And as soon as the mother walked away for a second, the daughter was still in the line, and she spoke to that customer service representative the exact same way that her mother was just speaking with that person. Same attitude, same head rolling, same rolling of the eyes, same neck action, all of it. She was like a little mini me of her mother, what she saw. So it's like I could immediately relate what you were saying to this learned behavior to that situation. And it happens to all of us. We all are modeling something. So what are we going to model, and how are we going to model it? And are we going to model good stuff well?
Yeah. And that's the same way we learned, we can also unlearn and put in new habits. And that's why emotional intelligence, being aware of emotional intelligence, and there's so many classes out there. And obviously you going through a coach session, it's so important that they will give you the tools of you not carrying all that you don't want to carry, because that's not being positive for you. So you can do different.
Right. Exactly.
Renee,
Yeah.
I want to comment on Arvid comment that she always thought that she was born with it. But there is a neuroscientist called Lisa Feldman. She wrote a book saying how emotions are made. And she said on her book that we are not born with any of emotions. We learn through our experience and observation. So that's how we learn to have that. So think about that as a muscle. Some people might have natural tendency, intuitive, be a little more like that. But honestly, that was just given to her by the experience, by or she saw people doing it. So no matter where you come from or what you've been through, you can choose to develop the emotional intelligence part. You can develop your relationship. You can develop your leadership. So it's something that you can always develop. It's emotional intelligence.
Wow, that is so good. And Glendon, a little bit further on that, what mindset shift do people, if they did it immediately, would improve how we relate to others?
Say that again, please.
So, is there a certain mindset shift that people need to make now to improve how they relate to others?
Okay, yeah. To improve how they relate to others is just look at other people differently than they look to themselves. Think that everybody has a different trait, everybody has a different way of do things, and you don't have to bring. Let's think about a couple that's always fighting. There is one of them. They are just fast paced. They are more emotional. Make decisions quick, and the other ones are just like stable, more analytical. Instead of one trying to bring the other to their side, how about we look differently? Look that they can just complete what I don't have. They can fulfill what I don't have instead of trying to make them look like me. Why I don't just look at them of something that I don't have or some ability that I don't have, they can have it, and just combining both of them, we can just be one and we can have better relationship instead of trying to just fight each other or trying to bring each other to their side.
Wow. Wow. That is such a true epiphany for me right now. And of course, when you're in a marriage, you certainly want to complement one another. Like what they're lacking, you want to bring to the table so you all can be complete as a unit. I never thought so much about it like in a work situation or in like, a business situation. So if we shift our mindset to think, not is this person, bad or wrong, they are just different. And what they bring is a different perspective, a different frame of reference, a different mindset to this entire situation that can add value to what I may not have. Because it may be a blind spot for me. I may not be able to see things in that way. But because of their experiences and what they've been through, it's easy for them to see things in that way. And so it just makes me better to have them in my life.
Especially on that environment, especially on a business situation. You have to hire people that has the ability that you don't.
That's
and
right.
then their company will work as as a whole. Because if you hire just people like you, like yourself, it's gonna be a problem somewhere. Not everybody is good on numbers. Not everybody is good on customer service. Not everybody is good on organizing things. So if you don't see that people has abilities, and it's better if you hire people according to their abilities, that will make your job a lot easier, and the company will be more profitable if you can just put people in the right place.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that's so good. And Jane Carla says, I'm thinking she's saying that you're her mentor, Glendon, and you are marvelous.
Yes, she did.
Awesome.
Renee, so Glendon, we actually hired him as a business coach for our business. So he's been working with us close to a year now. And he said to me once, Loiny, exactly what he put it right there. Sometimes I'll think, oh, if I have 2, 3, or 4 Loinis, the world will be perfect. It will not, because I have lacunas, like things that I can't develop because that I am weak at. But he told me, if you hire someone that's able to deliver at least 80% of something that you can do it well, but they deliver it, that will take you that time to do something else, for you to be creative in some other things, just like executive assistant, the virtual executive assistant does your wonderful work. So you take that time to other people. And on my case, for example, I had to learn that even though someone is not doing something exactly the way I would like, and maybe it's not delivering the 100% excellence that I would like on my perspective, because I have a defect thinking that everything needs to be perfect. That is not possible. If someone can deliver at least 80% of that, that person is welcome on my team. And obviously there are the specific people that needs to be hired to do and develop things that I'm incapable of. There's one thing on emotional intelligence that I've learned, it's the elasticity. There's so much us human beings will be able to work onto the elasticity mode. For example, I believe Glendon can jump in and talk more about that elasticity in the human being. I'll let him expert.
Really, it's just because like we all have traits, and we have at least 4 different types. We have one that's really fast. We have one that's very communicator. We have one that's very stable, and one that's very detailed oriented. So let's see, we do have usually a combination of 2 of them naturally, and 2 of them we have to adapt. But think about you having to adapt every day, every single day of work, you having to adapt. You using too much of the elasticity to do something that are not natural for you. Because we do have tests that you can take to know how you work on things. So especially on Loin's company, first thing we did is to run the test on everybody's to see if they are on the right place according to the position. So this way, they don't have to be using their elasticity most of the time. It's okay for you to go there and do a little bit about it. But if you stay there, that's going to be a harm to you. It's not going to be any good, and you're not going to be able to sustain a performance for a much longer time. So it's better to just know yourself better, know what you're good at it, and you use more of that, and then you can bring more performance.
Yes. Oh, that is so good. It's like trying to force yourself to fit into a circle, but you're a square peg.
Exactly.
You know,
That
it doesn't work.
was a good way to say it.
Right. And so
Awesome.
that is so good. And so, yeah, everyone has their own natural gifts and skills and talents. And so, why force something that doesn't come easily or naturally for you? Sure, we all want to grow and expand, but we will thrive and add more value when we're doing what comes naturally and easily for us that we love to do. Do you know what I mean? Because usually we love to do the things that come naturally and easily, you know,
Exactly.
and so we're really good at it. So, yes. So, Loini, tell us what Dina is saying.
That Glendon goes a long way. He's awesome. He's a mentor, and Glendon is a mentor not only for majority of his community is Brazilian, but he lived in America for quite some time. How long? How long have you lived in?
Yeah, I lived in the US for 18 years.
18 years, and he had to go back shine in Brazil once more. But now this gentleman is all over the world. He was in Portugal, bringing Evo method, the method of Evo, that's coming here in Atlanta in January, with emotional intelligence content. So he was just in Portugal this past weekend. It's a 3-day event where you go in depth into this type of content as well. And now he's going to Qatar. Is that right?
Actually, I'm talking to you guys from Qatar.
Yeah. See?
Oh, So we have
Yes.
a global audience here, global
Yeah.
talent here on our stage today. How exciting!
Yes.
So yeah, Glendon, it's like you are like world renowned.
I'm getting there. I'll accept.
I love that. I love that for you. And Loini, thank you so much for plugging the event that's coming to Atlanta in January. An entire conference starting on a Thursday, I think, ending on Sunday. At near Galleria. I'm not exactly sure of the location.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta Metro. We can send in the information so you can put
Yes.
it in the for marketing. If you're
Yeah, for show
interested, I
notes.
definitely recommend for sure. And
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, even though our base it's being put out there in Portuguese, but it was born here in America. William Marston, 1928. He
Yeah.
wrote this very complex book. I've tried reading it a few times. It's very complex. If you're not a student of
Yeah.
psychology,
I
I
don't
wouldn't
recommend
go
that.
there. Uh,
I don't recommend that one.
it talks about emotional and normal people. It's it's complex.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
little bit outdated
but
now.
then, but then just to circle back to the task that he had applied to our business collaborators, it's called DISC assessments, and it was
Oh, yeah.
created here in the U.S. in 1940. So it's something that's always being updated as we're learning more and more about emotional intelligence and how we can be more aware of how we're feeling it. So
Well, that is
very
awesome.
important.
I love that. And even for the event, though, I want to circle back just a little bit to close the loop on the event here in January. You said that it's primarily going to be in Portuguese, but there will be translators there for English.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's live translation in English. And it's not the first time that this happens in Atlanta. It's actually the third time. We've gone to New York and also Florida. And there's English speakers that have been able to enjoy and get a lot out of this conference event.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, as people are thinking about emotional intelligence and the value of emotional intelligence, if they want to strengthen their emotional intelligence and ability to operate in this space well, what's a very simple first step that someone can take and can start doing today to make a difference in their lives and the lives of others?
I would say, first of all, is know themselves better. And we can do this through tests. You can do this through reading. And I would recommend taking the DISC test. That's a nice beginning, because this way on that test will give you most of your awareness that you need, at least the basics. What is just influencing you? How is your mindset right now? Is it positive or negative? How is your self-esteem right now? So this test is it's very complete. Will give you a very nice knowledge about yourself. And I would say that should be the first the head start. That should be the first thing to do. It's know yourself better. And other than that, it's just like through reading. It's there is some good books out there. There is Daniel Goleman that said he's the guy that wrote the book called Emotional Intelligence. That book will give a nice approach to emotional intelligence as well. And if you want to go deeper, just search on you. Today we have a lot of free content on YouTube about this topic, and just search it and just start like filling yourself with those information, because eventually those will make sense, and you're gonna be able to manage your emotions better.
Awesome, awesome. And so know yourself. That's one of the first keys. Know
That's the
yourself.
first key.
And
That's first.
one of the ways that you get to know yourself is through this DISC assessment. DISC is DISC,
See.
and each of those letters is an acronym for different different attributes. There we go.
Exactly.
Dominance, influence, conscientiousness, and steadiness. So all of these different, each one of us intrinsically has each of these different aspects as part of our personality. And it's a natural way that we are. And I've taken this assessment a couple times. And usually they say once you take it once, it doesn't change unless you go through like a serious life altering event.
May I guess?
Yes. You guess what my letter is?
I believe we're influential and dominant. That's what I believe.
So when I took it the very first time, I was a very high D. With a little bit of I on the little I at the bottom. I went through several major life-changing events, and now I am more of an I and a C, which is almost like polar opposites, but still for the better. And as I've grown and learned and changed over the years, due to my experiences that I went through. So, anyways, it's a wonderful assessment. So, if anyone wants to know how they can take the first baby step to gaining greater emotional intelligence, know yourself by taking the DISC assessment first.
And Renee, if anyone is interested in taking it, I can guide them through it, because usually I do apply those tests and I give them a session to read it all, because it's not just getting the assessment and see that you're like, I'm a high D or I'm a high I. There is a lot of indexes in there that can tell very detailed about you.
Yes.
A lot of details information. So they can just reach out to me and I can get that done as well.
Yes, absolutely. And Jane says, my life and my family's life were transformed through the emotional intelligence method of Evo. And I had the honor of having Glendon as my coach. Thank you, Glendon. So you are transforming lives. Oh, and you're Monica's mentor. So many mentees on the line. Thank you all for joining today.
Here. Yes.
May I step in and say something, Renee?
Absolutely.
As I was thrown into the business that we have today, as I was running after my husband and picking out the pieces of a dominant person that he is, and that's one of the only reasons we're here today, because he's very dominant with his entrepreneurship and his creative side. I was exhausted on my overusing of elasticity. And then I was pouring myself down. I closed my office door and I'm crying out, asking the Lord, what am I doing here? What do you want from me? I can't do this no more. I got to my limits. And then as my tears start dripping down, I see the payroll sheet in front of me. And I remember exactly 32 people there. And that's what I heard. That's why. It's not because of you, it's because of them. So there were 32 families being transformed there. Not only because of the paycheck, that's what I've learned, that I was supposed to be honoring them, but how we as a business approach them. What are we bringing it to them? And after we've been learning more about emotional intelligence and having Glendon on our team to give that extra support has been wonderful. So that's when the girl said, knowing emotional intelligence has changed my life. Having Glendon and his knowledge with us has not only changed our life, but also the life of most of our collaborators there as the business. One thing is you having emotional intelligence for you as an individual. Another thing is you having that applied into your business and the people that's over there. I highly encourage you, if you have a business, do that for yourself.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. That
Oh,
deserves some applause or something
thank
because
you,
that is just so good.
thank you for that.
So good, Glendon. Oh, the service you provide, the impact that you're having on lives, the ripple effect is just going to go on and on and on for generations. So thank you so much for what you do and helping us learn and understand how we can do better and be better. For all of us, not just ourselves, but for everyone that of all the lives that we get to touch through our businesses and through our relationships, through our networks, all the things. It's so important to have good emotional intelligence. So thank you guys for that. So one of the things, one of my last questions before we have to start to wrap up is, how can or do you believe that emotional intelligence can be a competitive advantage for our businesses, and why?
Renee, absolutely. Um, people they people don't leave companies; they leave leadership. When
Mm,
leaders cultivate emotional
good.
safety, clarity, they will unlock that trust. They will unlock creativity, and they will have more retention. So emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill, it's a strategic way of leading your business. And I'm sure it's, if you apply that to your business, you have a big advantage, you big competitive advantage in business, because you're building people. You're not building a business. You just like worrying about people. You're just worrying about how you can make them have a better life, how they can have a better relationship on with their kids, with their spouse. It's different than you just having them performing on your business, because
Right.
uh, the money is just a consequence of you taking care of the people you work with.
That's right. And I love how you said people don't leave companies, they leave leadership.
Leadership.
And so we want to make sure that we are the absolute best leaders that we can be, especially if we are business owners. And especially if we lead people in any capacity, whether we're volunteering at our church or we're, being a wife or a mom in our families. It doesn't matter what our role is. We have opportunity to show smart emotional intelligence once we become more aware of who we are, what triggers us, and how to handle and work through the triggers so that we are just good people and setting the right example for those that we get to do life with. So I really appreciate that, you guys. Thank you guys so much. And so, in closing, as we approach the new year, so just a few final thoughts. What emotional intelligence commitment would you encourage our audience to bring into 2026?
All right, let's see it. I would say commit to emotional responsibility first.
Mm,
Stop blaming, stop
mm,
avoiding, stop numbing. Start owning your emotions, your story. Start owning your story, and that way you impact a lot of people. You bring impact to a lot of people. So ownership is the word. Just
ownership.
ownership is the word for emotional intelligence for this new year.
Wow. I love that. Own it. Own it
Own it.
all. Quit passing the buck and blaming other people for your bad behavior.
Exactly, exactly. I can
I love
only
that.
reinforce that, the moment that you own the emotion that you're feeling it right now. And if it's a good emotion, put it out there. If it's a bad emotion, how can I reroute that? You know, That's my how can we reroute the bad emotions? Knowing more about emotional intelligence. That's the clue.
I love it. That's so good. And so, as we definitely want people to be able to find you after today's show. So, Loini, I'm going to start with you. As we know more about emotional intelligence, that's going to be our commitment for 2026. How can we stay in touch with you? How can we find you? How can we learn more about Evo Foundation or Evo and the conference in January? Tell us how to stay in touch because this show is almost over, but emotional intelligence is going to last a lifetime. So we need resources.
Yes, yes. The easiest way to get in touch with me, it's through my LinkedIn profile. Just go there. There's only one Loiny Matos. That's me.
I love that.
Same thing for Instagram. And on Instagram, you can see some of my personal, authentic who I am there on Loiny Matos. Right there, you're gonna see my business, which is my daily bread. I love and I honor everybody that's part of that as well. But we also have my personal Instagram page, which is Loiny Matos as well. And right there, I will be posting stuff about my books. There's Evo Expedition there. There is a venture that we're going to Israel on this emotional intelligence intake. We have so many amazing things coming to this 2026. I'm very excited for that. And on my Instagram page, you'll be able to find more information about every single things that we have aligned as well. And for the event, for sure.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Loini and Glendon, superstar of the world, Mr. Mentor himself.
Yes.
How do we stay in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit on LinkedIn, not much, but
Mm,
my main base is Instagram, and
mm.
especially because Instagram, all of my content in there usually is bilingual. So all my
Okay,
content on Instagram, you see all the captions are bilingual, and I know Instagram now has the feature that all the videos are being translated through AI as well.
nice.
So I think Instagram will be awesome, because
So if we
I'm
want to,
there every day.
awesome. So we just click on the message button. I see these beautiful pages on Instagram here for those that are
Exactly. Just
listening
click on the
only.
message, send me a DM, or just
Yeah, click on the message button and DM
I'm
Glendon.
I'm
And
right there.
yeah, and if you're taking new clients, you may get some more new ones from today's show. We
Yeah,
definitely
that's
uh,
awesome.
love the testimonies given today by your mentees who just sing your praises and all the accolades of the important work that you do and the impact that you've had on their lives. So thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for that. We'll be reaching out to each of you on Instagram. You, Luini, also on LinkedIn, and you each have websites that I'm sure that everyone can also reach out on as well to make sure that they stay connected, stay involved, stay engaged, and committed to owning their emotions and just being better people. It's more and more important in today's day and age when things can be so conversations can easily become so divisive and
Exactly.
sensitive. There's a heightened level of sensitivity, I think, going on in the world today, especially here in the United States. So it really is, this is more important than ever, especially right now, given where we are. So I just want to thank you both for being a part of today's show. And any closing thoughts, final words in the last 40 seconds of today's show?
Exactly. I believe emotional intelligence is the new leadership currency right now. Anyone who wants to lead with impact in this season, they need to start being aware, responsible, and being connecting to everyone else. Don't just build a business, but build people. That's the secret for today's show.
Awesome, awesome. In 12 seconds, Loiny, you got him.
AI, that's what everybody's talking about, but EI is the secret. That's what you need to be learning about it.
I love that. Loiny, Glendon, you were made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Thank
Hang
you.
around.
Thank you.